Welcome everyone! Race 10 of the High Octane Series second season brings us to the Rockingham Speedway here in North Carolina. The playoffs for the High Octane Series continue in full force after a wild race at Bristol a week ago. We go to a track a little bit larger, but still just as daunting and as challenging for the drivers that have to take on this racetrack here tonight. Welcome everyone to ABN Studios coverage of the High Octane Series all season long. 3 races to go, including tonight. And we're going to get a way better look as to who's in and who's out after tonight's race. The point standings are very interesting going into this race. Kevin Feemster top of the board, but it's a very close margin with Chris Fleming, Colin McDonough, Cody Pinnell, Brandon Fetterplace, David Wright, Austin Mongold, James Kerr, Ours George, all very much in the fight still. The objective, be top 5 by the end of next weekend, so you can fight in that Championship 5 showdown at the end of the season. Feemster, Fleming, McDonough, Pinnell, and Fetterplace currently have those odds, but it's nowhere near over yet. Qualifying currently underway here in Rockingham. About 2 minutes left here in qualifying. You see all the cars marked in orange are those in the playoffs. Those in blue are those on the outside looking in. We get to see Dale Markowski again, who got his first career win just a week ago in Bristol. Ross Baxter also in this mix, as well as Matthew Kent and Ryan Pinnell, the number 12 machine, who sits 11th in points. Everyone has set a qualifying time, though. Track is open for any last-second runners if they want to join in. So we'll see if anyone does join in here over the next 90 seconds. Less than a minute left to go here in Rockingham. Again, 12 cars right now. Kevin Feemster top of the point standings right now, bottom of the grid in this 12-car grid here. Josh Gaiman is present tonight, so that's fantastic. So he gets to try to claw it back up from missing last week's race in Bristol. David Wright, though, pole position as it looks at the moment with 30 seconds left to go. Do want to take the time to remind everyone that this is the last ABN Studio stream until Wednesday. Streams tomorrow and Monday. Championship weekend in full swing. ABN 1 on Twitch. It's the Winstel Cup Series finale tomorrow night, 7:45 from Homestead Miami Speedway. And then Monday, 8 p.m. on ABN 1 on Twitch. The HTL Cup Series brings its season to a close at Fontana. And then we'll be live again right here on Wednesday for the ABN Champ Car World Series. Gonna be a lot of fun. So qualifying is done. Track is open for warm-up. Driver's last chance to dial everything in before race time. 131 laps here for the field. This is Chris Fleming, the 38 car. Pretty good job so far this season, trying to keep that momentum going. Again, easier said than done. This track is definitely not easy to try to take on. We do have Las Vegas next week. That's the last round. That's the last race in the round of 10. And then Miami for this series on November 2nd. On Wednesday, the ABN Champ Car World Series comes back into action with a race at Fontana. Part of the Crown Jewel system. We have 5 races to go in the Champ Car World Series. Get a chance to see Josh Gaiman's car, 61 machine. We did not get to see it at Bristol last week. We do get to see it now. Currently 4th fastest at the moment. Qualified really well. This will be a very interesting race. You have the competition caution that happens on lap 25. That'll be everyone's really only planned opportunity to adjust themselves to get ready to go. Warm-up has come to a close. The 5-minute warm-up session for everyone is over here for the Octane series. Everyone coming to a cool down as we get ready to go for 131 laps here tonight. As everyone gets ready to go, let's go ahead and go over the starting grid here in Rockingham. David Wright and Josh Gaiman front of the field. David Wright on pole position. Josh Gaiman, after missing a race last week at Bristol, has a lot of catch-up work to do if he wants to try to make it to the Championship 5 and race for a title in Homestead. Row 2, Chris Fleming and Ross Baxter. Again, those marked in orange are in the playoffs. Those marked in blue are not. Baxter, one of the newer drivers in, sits on the outside of row number 2 alongside Fleming. Cody Pennell, Dale Markowski sit in row number 3. Markowski, a winner last time out of Bristol, trying to do the same from 6th on the grid. A couple more playoff drivers, Austin Mongold and Colin McDonough, sit in row number 4. And McDonough does not make the start. So that's going to be interesting to follow along with. Ours George, Matthew Kitt in row number 5. Sits as they are right now. And then you have Ryan Pennell and Kevin Feemster. Feemster at the back of the field will gain a spot, with McDonough not being present. Huge hit for McDonough, who right now is top 5 in the points. As it stands, it won't stay that way. Lap 25 is the competition caution. It's going to be a sprint until that point. David Wright, Josh Game in front of the field as we get ready to go here in Rockingham. Pace car is in, green flag flies, and away we go. We're racing in North Carolina. Mongol with the slide. Right now we stay green. Josh Gaiman leads lap number 1 over David Wright. And you see the gap there all the way back to Chris Fleming, that 38 car. Holding everyone at bay. That's the 17 of Kevin Feemster, already up from 12th to 4th. He's done an outstanding job so far. Excuse me, he's in 6th position, because you have Cody Pennell and Ross Baxter sitting there 3rd and 4th at the moment. I thought that was the leaders they had cut up to. It is not. It is a 22 of Ross Baxter leading this charge, as David Wright looks to the inside of Josh Gaiman to no avail for the race lead. Gaiman continues to lead. Gaiman leads. Cody Pennell now up to the 3rd spot. You got around Baxter, and Baxter beginning to fall down a little bit. A little contact there between the 22 and the 38. Kevin Feemster watching it all unfold here. 17 car sitting right there in that 6th spot, trying to see if he can move his way into the top 5. Dropping down to the 6th spot, as Fleming will now lose a spot. Tagged the wall, looks like out of 2. He'll drop down to 6th place. Ryan Pennell up to 7th. There's Matthew Kent in 8th. And then Dale Markowski in 9th. Remember, competition caution on 25. So if you're struggling now, just try to keep it pointing in the right direction. That way, you can get everything figured out in the competition yellow and Get ready for that second stanza. Austin Mongold after his slide. Sitting right now on an all-white truck, which is not normal. Yeah, Mongold's truck is supposed to be a Tampa strong truck. As we see a battle for the race lead now, once again, David Wright got to the outside lane, and he'll take the race lead over Josh Gaiman. As I was mentioning with Austin Mongo, it's supposed to be a Tampa strong truck in support of those affected by Hurricane Milton that hit last week. Mongold from around that area. These two continue to battle and through turns 1 and 2. It's allowing Cody Pinal to catch up. Gaps come down 1.1 seconds between leader and third place. These two very familiar with each other across ARCS competitions. Both of them have raced with each other in the A-Square Cup Series quite a healthy amount. Halfway to that competition yellow. Josh Gaiman's led the lion's share of the laps in this opening stanza. David Wright right now sitting in the second spot. Cody Pinal now almost an even second to Josh Gaiman. Likewise, Kevin Beamster closing in as well. The 17 car up to 4th. He's done a pretty outstanding job so far. Chris Fleming in 5th. Ryan Pinal sitting in the 6th spot, as he has also gone around Ross Baxter. Colin McDonough, as we saw also on the racetrack, he took a pit lane start, which is why he dropped back. Kevin Beamster, though, trying to close in as the two at the front of the field continue to fight it out. David Wright and Josh Gaiman continue to duke it out in front of the field. Flows here going on in this opening stanza. Josh Gaiman blowing away a little bit. David Wright will have to reel him back in. When Gaiman's not being challenged, he's the fastest truck on the racetrack, but David Wright reeling him in pretty well. Cody Pinal also sitting stationary at the moment. So the trucks looks like they'll stay pretty safely on lead lap here by the time we get to the competition yellow. The end of 25. Gaiman sitting right now up by about half a second. He's really pulled away here on this lap from David Wright. Cody Pennell sitting in third. Feimster in fourth. Looks like Markowski with a little bit of latency. Same with Matthew Kent. Ryan Pennell now holding the sixth position ahead of Ross Baxter. Baxter trying to find a way around. Gets to the bottom of him. And Fleming also not out of range. Here comes Baxter to sixth. West Virginia Mountaineers car goes up a spot, and Markowski might as well. Three to go until the competition yellow comes out. Josh Gaiman now leading by about 0.7 of a second. Laps tick away here. We will be beginning lap 25. Baxter got a really good run there, trying to close it on Chris Fleming. See Dale Markowski, a lot of latency there for the 33 truck. Battling side by side with the 12. And Pennell drives up the racetrack. A little bit preemptive. He'll lose a lot of spots out of that. But it will not matter too super significantly, I do not believe. I believe the caution has come out officially. It has. And to make sure that the lights are actually on the pace truck, and they are. There it is, the pace car waiting for Josh Gaiman down the back straightaway. Allows the field to catch up and come down pit lane for the first time for a fresh set of Goodyear tires. Josh Gaiman led the lion's share of all of those 25 laps. David Wright was able to sneak around a couple of them after starting on pole position. Pretty clear-cut first stanza here in Rockingham. Josh Gaiman leads the way. Lights are out on the pace car, which means we're going green at the end of this lap. It is Josh Gaiman, David Wright, and Cody Pennell, and Kevin Feimster front of the field here in Rockingham. We'll be going green at the start lap 30 of 131, so we'll have 102 laps to go here in Rockingham. It's been a very tame and composed opening stanza. Does it stay that way when we go back green? We're going to find out. Field's caught up and back together. It's Gaiman and right, front of the field. And green flag flies. Here we go. Gaiman with a really good launch. A little bit of wheel spin for David Wright. Trying to get through the gears. And Cody Pennell makes him pay for it too. 28 car up to the second spot. Aimster still in fourth. Chris Fleming in the top 5. And here comes Cody Pennell. He's going to try to challenge Josh Gaiman, who has been hard to beat. Almost trouble there for the 42, who got loose out of turn 2, and he's still struggling, still loose. Checked up Baxter. Kent had to go to the inside lane. That was a wake-up call for the 42 truck. Baxter get right back around Matthew Kemp. David Wright's now got some work to do to get back to the second and third spot. Gaiman, Pennell, Feemster, and Fleming top 4 at the moment. Gaiman missed Bristol last week, so he needs to gain as many points as possible. His way to do that's by winning, and that's where he's at right now at the front of the field. However, that does not make it easy. Especially when you've got Cody Pennell and Kevin Feemster, 2 fantastic drivers in these trucks, sitting right behind you. A little bit looser out of turn 2. It's a very bumpy racetrack, Rockingham Speedway. And you see how much the trucks are moving around here. See if we can ride on board with one of them here. Riding on board with Kevin Feemster, sitting in third place. Give you a really good idea of how much these trucks travel going into the corners. It's a lot, and this camera doesn't do a lot of justice. This camera might do a little bit more. See how much the truck's just bouncing up and down off the racetrack, especially in the corners here when it wants to really get unsettled. Every single bump, a chance for that car to break loose and spin around. Could be a wild time. And everyone handles that differently. Some people love the bumps. They love when the car kicks out. They love having to be up on the steering wheel. Others hate it. Others absolutely hate it. falling back just a little bit here from the battle with the top two. Trying to hold on there. Now they're breaking away. Markowski really having a lot of latency issues now. 33 truck, even more latency issues. Really holding up McDonough. There's Baxter. There's Ryan Pinnell. Ours George is in this group as well. McDonough tried to go for a pass and it just didn't stick. And now Baxter's on his outside lane. Just falling down further and further. Now down to the 11th spot, out of the top 10 now. Goes McDonough. And now struggling to keep touch there with Josh Gaiman. We're almost back to that point where we were in stage number 1. Well, before the competition caution. Josh Gaiman just had the ability to stretch his tires out just a little bit better than everyone else. And that we're seeing that to a pretty fair degree. This is where tire wear does matter a decent amount. Everyone had a chance to figure out where they were at tire wear wise from those first 25 laps. Now you gotta think strategy here as we get through lap 50. When do you make that pit stop? How much do you want to undercut if you think it's going to buy you a position here? And do you think you can defend it? Is the next question. Matthew Kent got around Markowski and he has set sail. He put a full second and a half over him. So Matthew Kent now on an island, but all things considered, not the worst thing in the world either. Carmen now with a 1.4 second advantage is the 61, who has got a pretty decent headway on this right now. And at 1.4 seconds, doing a pretty outstanding job there. Now sitting in second place, trying to keep in touch. Kevin Feemster's dropped back and now in danger of being passed by potentially David Wright and Chris Fleming. David Wright fell back earlier, had that almost spin out of turn 2. And here he is, battling to try to get back around for third place here. Wright gets clear for third, just barely, but gets clear. Spot for third, heating it. Matthew Kent's not far away either. This could be a 4-car fight for the top 3. Struggling to keep these tires underneath of him. Fleming now looks to the inside. Dave Wright's got clear. And he is now up the road by over a second, so he was definitely saving some tires here. And here goes Fleming. Telegraph move there by the 38. And it works out. Fleming up to 4th. Feemster now down to 5th. He's brought up those right front tires, those right side tires, I should say, both of them. And now he's in trouble. And here comes Matthew Kent trying to get the top 5 away from him. Markowski's dropped down to 10th. And Markowski comes down pit lane. So green flag pit stops now underway. Taking the undercut strategy, as he was falling down pretty quickly there. He had a stop time there, 14.5 second stop for the 33. And now he's going to have several laps where he's the best car on the track. There goes Cody Finau. You saw him at the for a brief moment. He comes down pit lane from second place. Cars come in, Fleming and Feemster come in. Josh Kamen down pit lane as well. David Wright stays out, so he'll lead some more laps. come in this time? Yes, he does. So David Wright comes in. Ross Baxter will as well. It'll leave Elvis George out on the racetrack for another lap. And Elvis George takes the race lead. And Ryan Pinnell out there with him as well. Elvis George stays out longer, goes 41 laps there. George comes in this time. Ryan Pinnell already came down pit lane. Austin Mongol down pit lane as well already. That'll leave Josh Gaiman to regain the lead pretty easily. But he's not too far away from Cody Pinnell. Cody Pinnell keeps himself pretty close. Tenths of a second here. All 12 trucks still right now on the lead lap. Fight back here. This is for the third spot. Markowski's in it. Remember, he undercut. He undercut by a wide margin too. Has to be in the full effects of that already, though. David Wright sitting in third place, Matthew Kent up to fourth, Fleming in fifth, and Markowski's already dropped down a couple spots. Third, sitting on a little bit of an island. Matthew Kent up in fourth, really trying to get, really just asking for a chance to get into the podium places here. 50 laps to go in this race. Josh Carmen seems pretty well undeniable at the moment. He's opened up a 1.5 seconds on Cody Pennell here. They sit 1 and 2 at the moment. David Wright over almost 5 seconds adrift in 3rd place at the moment. Chris Fleming trying to do his part. And they close in on 31 of Matthew Kent. Try to get around that Bucky Chevrolet. Fleming would take over the lead of the championship standings, intertied with Kevin Feemster after Bristol last week. Right now he's got Feemster ahead by 2 positions, but Feemster closing in on Markowski, and Markowski tags the wall, and so make it very easy on Kevin Feemster to just find a way around, and that's exactly what he does. Feemster up to 6th, so now it's a lot smaller of a difference there between Fleming and Feemster at the top of the board. Fleming once again closing in on Matthew Kent. Would love to get that 4th position. Try to elevate the bar just a little bit. Try to get a little bit further there from Feemster. Trying to close in, and it's down to about 2/10 the gap there. Feemster is about 2.6 seconds away. So Fleming's got a little bit of time to figure this out if he's going to get around the 31. But he's got to make that work at some point, because there's another pit stop incoming before this race is over. They're about halfway through the stint at the moment. Gaiman's on lap 22 of his stint. He went 39 laps before. So there's 100% a pit stop in the next 20 laps for almost the entire field. Still struggling to get around Matthew Kent at the moment. This is the closest battle on the racetrack, and Kevin Feemster is closing in a little bit more and more. That's Baxter 2 laps down. McDonough 1 lap down. As things currently stand. Truck still on the lead lap. Bowers George, last truck running on the lead lap at the moment. Start to be concerned if I was Chris Fleming not being able to get around Matthew Kent right now. Fumes has closed in over half a second already. It was 2.6, now it's 2.0 between the two. Teamster, slow start. Seems like he's getting things figured out. He burned his tires up a lot. 17 car did in that opening stanza. Dropped really quickly. On his own, though, he's been able to focus and find that consistency. Truck came in early. It was Austin Mongo. Looks like Colin McDonough is also coming in a little bit early, and so will Matthew Kent. So Matthew Kent bails in, and he'll come down pit lane. Interesting. Now the window is open. This is less than 40 laps to go, and they can easily get to about 40 laps. Everyone made 39 easily. Those that were saving made it to 42. Austin Mongo, that fork truck, fresh tires, came down 3 laps ago. So he's going to be able to go through this group pretty easily. We see how David Wright got around for second place. Cody Pennell fell off pretty rapidly with his worn tires. Comes down pit lane here. Josh Gaiman stays out though, and he was gonna have to come in and cover that one off. You don't want to at least stay out too awful long on that one. So that's exactly what happens. Chris Fleming, let's see if he comes down pit lane. No, he'll stay out. So Chris Fleming will inherit the race lead here. Fleming comes in after leading a lap. See if Ryan Pennell stays out to take over the race lead. He will. So Ryan Pennell now the race leader. Stays out, so will Elvis George, and these are the last two that stayed out really long on their last stop, and they can go about another 8 to 10 laps. down pit lane, or as George came down before him. And Cody Pennell did not gain any time on that pit stop sequence. Still 8.6 seconds away from Josh Gaiman. Now 9 seconds of drift to Josh Gaiman. Josh Gaiman, you'd have to assume at this point, just sort of sitting in his own little world at this point, doing a wild time. Let's see if we figure out how many laps Josh Gaiman's led, because it's been just about all of them. It's not full enough for us, so we'll have to wait to see what the full numbers look like there for Josh Gaiman. 19 laps to go, though. He has been near perfect, despite not starting from pole position. He has been the one in control of this race. About to put Austin Mongold a lap down here. Don't think Mongold's going to fight that too awful hard. Sitting right now, 9.2 ahead. David Wright, ooh, he could potentially be threatening. Could be now here, less than a second away. He's been charging back forward. Remember, he got loose and fell down really to 6th place. And he's been trying to recover that because he almost spun out, had to get completely out of it, and was in traffic the majority of the race from that point on. That was right on the restart too. Oh, he's closing it big time, 7/10. Less than 15 laps to go. Keep an eye on the 42 truck because he is trying to make some work happen. 4/10 the gap. This could be big for David Wright here. Trying to surge forward. Matthew Kent sitting pretty stable in 4th, but he's 3.5 seconds away from this fight. Giving the 10 laps to go. David Wright's right there. He gained on him so quickly. Gained on him rapidly. Now defending that outside lane a little bit. Trying to carry as much momentum as possible through the corners. David Wright held it a little bit close to the inside lane. Used up a little bit more of the racetrack. Now they're deep in the battle. 8 laps to go. Fleming dropped back. Ooh, Fleming tagged the wall there. 2 laps down after a speeding penalty. And here it goes, David Wright. With 6 laps to go. Trying to piece it all together. Still side by side. Cody Pinot does not want to let that go in this battle for the 2nd spot. Still side by side with 5 laps to go. David Wright gets a nose ahead there. Could have been else trying to side draft him. Doing a really good job of side drafting him because he's ahead of him by turns 1 and 2. Ooh, almost contact there. Turns 3 and 4 is where David Wright's a little bit better. Trying to squeeze him at the racetrack a little bit. Cody Pinot trying to keep him pinched down. 4 to go. Josh Camen's 12 seconds ahead of this. But it doesn't matter. Still battling it out. Here coming to 2 laps to go. These two just not giving it up. Cody Pinot got back ahead and got clear. Dave Wright's got a couple more opportunities to make something happen. Josh Gaiman, the 61 truck, is coming to the white flag. He's taking it. 1 lap to go. And he's going to be untouchable here in Rockingham. The question is on this battle for 2nd place. They are side by side, taking the white flag. Josh Gaiman's going to come home and take the race win. He's got that pretty well secured. It's this battle for 2nd place, and points, very precious points, in the playoffs as they come out of turn number 4. Very close. A little bit of contact, a little bit of wheel banging, but it's going to be David Wright over Cody Pennell to round out the podium. 15 milliseconds separated the second and third place cars there. Cody Pennell and David Wright put on a fair and fun fight at the very end. And David Wright had to work for it to reel him back in. Josh Gaiman, though, he is your race winner here in Rockingham. And he gets to burn it down. After missing Bristol, he did what he had to do here tonight. Josh Gaiman is going to burn it down. David Wright, second place. Cody Pennell in third. An outstanding fight for all of them. He's burning it down in a massive way. Josh Gaiman victorious here in Rockingham ahead of David Wright and Cody Pennell, who put on an absolute thriller. While Josh Gaiman gets to celebrate, we'll go ahead and talk to Cody Pennell, who did a fantastic job. An amazing and fun battle to watch, Cody. A third place finish, but it also keeps you firmly in that top 5 in points. Walk us through that race, because it seemed like Josh Gaiman was hard to beat, but it seemed like the tire game was even more difficult.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun there at the beginning. I short pit and then had made up some ground on him, but yeah, he just was in a class of his own tonight. I don't think I was going to have anything for him, unfortunately. And then David Wright, I knew that he was faster than I was on a long run. He was doing something, you know, to save a little bit more tire. So that last little stint there, I knew it was going to be a battle at the end. I didn't know it was going to be that close, but awesome job to him. And, you know, just racing clean and hard like that, that's when the sim is the most fun. So yeah, overall a good night for points, and we'll go into next week and try and have another good finish.
Obviously, we've had a couple races where it's been pretty difficult on the tires, pretty bouncy this racetrack here as well with Rockingham. We have one more race in the round of 10 before we start eliminating drivers from the championship competition. Las Vegas next week. How are you feeling going into that race as far as just kind of sealing up your chance to fight for a championship beginning of November?
Well, I ran the C-Fixed race there this morning at Las Vegas, and so we're using the same setup. It's going to be wild, especially if we have like a late caution, you know, green, white, checker, that kind of deal, because you can get such a run with the draft and there's room to go 3, 4, 5 wide. So don't necessarily want to have to go there and lock myself into the championship, but that's what we're going to have to do, and just try to have a clean race there and avoid some chaos if there is any.
Well, we've had a lot of really good racing here the last few weeks between Indianapolis, Bristol, here in Rockingham. We only had the competition caution here on lap 25 tonight as well. Las Vegas set potentially could be more of the same. Before we let you go and let you get ready for that race, though, next weekend, Cody, congratulations on your third place and a photo finish to go with it. If there's anyone who want to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. A fun race to watch, especially that battle there at the end.
Yeah, first and foremost, shout out to Kevin Feemster, the mastermind of all this. Wouldn't be possible without him. Shout out to ARCS for everything they contribute to all these series running, and having a place for all of us to go and run and have a good time with some friends. Special thanks to you for the broadcast as always. And yeah, special thanks to Wildcat Creek Cattle for coming on to the truck this season. And we'll go and try and do it again next week. Thank you, Carmen.
A fantastic job by Cody Pennell. Third place tonight, and one step closer to being in the championship battle in Homestead. We'll move on to the other side.
Practice done.
the champion of the battle there at the end of the race. David Wright, second place tonight by 15 milliseconds here at Rockingham. You had to reel in Cody Pennell by a wide margin to get to that point, and that was a fun fight. Walk us through your end of it.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, Carmen, it was, at the beginning of the race, it was a battle with Josh, and we battled through that whole first, segment. And then second segment, I got loose off of 2, and Feemster kind of caught me just a little bit as I was loose. He couldn't check up in time, and it spun me down the inside on the backstretch. I lost a lot of track position, and from there it was just trying to claw back. And I think every pit cycle I would catch Cody and pass him, and then we'd come back out on track, and he'd be in front. I'd have to run him down again, and that was the case on this one. And I'm gonna tell you what, that was a hard battle at the end. That was he had me pinned to the bottom. I couldn't get a run off, and I knew I was faster, but I couldn't get that run I needed. But yeah, that was tough. That was he made it hard, but that's what it's all about.
And we've seen a lot of times this season that the battles like that are really fun, but also really clean. That's what we saw there as well. You said that he gave you just enough room to operate there, and it worked out pretty well. What was because it looked like he had defended pretty well and he got clear again. What was the mentality for you there with like 4 laps to go? Because he got clear on the outside lane. And how much did you think you had left in that truck to even make another attempt with those few laps left to go?
Well, I knew my truck was faster on the longer run than his. I knew I was faster in the corner. It was just a matter if I could get the run off the corner to get by him. And I'd accidentally drove a little too hard into turn 1 when he got back around me on the high side, and I didn't want to. You push up off of 2 really bad, and I was really trying to make sure we gave each other room to run as clean as possible. And I think we only touched, one time during all that, and it didn't even, register any incidents. But I just once he got by me, I just backed my corner up a little bit more to try to keep myself down low so I could get the run off of 2 that I wanted. And I was finally able to do that and get by him. And I'm sure his tires were cooked just like mine were from all the battling that we had just done.
It was a very fun battle here, and obviously a lot of really good points for you going into Las Vegas next week. We get a little bit wider of a racetrack. We went from obviously Luxor Raceway to Bristol to Rockingham the night. Now we have Las Vegas, a place where these trucks can really dance around, and you have even more lanes to play with in a week's time. What's the feeling going into Las Vegas? Do you feel even stronger going into that track?
I feel good going into it. Vegas is a fun track, like you said. Sometimes it can be iffy off of 4, just depends, and I don't know how the most recent updates and everything, how that's going to play into things. But I had a good run going last week at Bristol, and once again I got loose off of 4 and lost all my track position. I think I was leading or in second or something like that. So I've had some good runs lately. I just hadn't had anything to show for it, but at least this week I ended up on pole. Was not trying to get pole, it just kind of happened, and got a second. Ended up with a second tonight, so feel good. Want to just keep up the nice, clean, good racing that we've had, and have a good show next week.
Well, I think it's set to be an absolute thriller. We were not anticipating a photo finish tonight, and we got one anyways. Before we let you go and let you get ready for the race in Las Vegas and everything in between now and next Saturday, if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congratulations on a phenomenal drive and a phenomenal charge back to that second spot.
Carmen, I greatly appreciate it. And like I always do, I thank the people behind the scenes, yourself, the people at the broadcast, people in ARCS that put all this on and allow this to happen. There's a lot that goes in that people may not know about, with the admin side and the setting up and all the stuff that has to be done to make the races happen and make the broadcast happen. So appreciate y'all, what y'all do, and we just get to come out here and play. That's what I always say.
Well, it was phenomenal to watch everyone race tonight. David, enjoy the second place, and we'll be seeing you again next Saturday when we head to Las Vegas. Enjoy it.
Thank you, Carmen. Appreciate it.
Phenomenal job by David Wright, second place finisher here, and we get to move on the order. We get to move to Josh Gaiman, who did an outstanding job to win dominant fashion here over the 131 laps after missing Bristol. This was exactly what the doctor ordered, Josh. Walk us through that race. It seemed like you were almost untouchable, despite not getting pole position, almost untouchable tonight.
Yeah, it was definitely a really good one for me. Right from the get-go, you know, I felt speed in the truck through practice, and definitely in qualifying it was there. I just had to figure out what to do with the steering and the brakes and everything, but hopefully we you know, can carry that momentum forward.
Obviously, not having Bristol last week, you really sort of behind the 8 ball here. It really needed this sort of result. Most laps led, almost led every single lap of this race. This track, very much a tire track, a tire eating track. How do you find the advantage to just do what you did? Because you had a 14-second gap by the end of the race, and that's hard to do when the races are. These are not really the longest races on the planet either. You had to really pull up a lot of time. What was the secret to making those tires last so long?
Yeah, it was just moving down to the bottom at the first like 10-15 laps, really keeping the tires together and making sure that you didn't push the truck too early. And then once they kind of settle in, you can move around and find a different place to drive. And that's kind of what I did. About 15 laps into the run, I'd move up to the top in 3 and 4, and it would keep the tire on it.
It worked out fantastic, and it's going to be a little bit easier to manage the tires when we go to Las Vegas next week. Obviously, going to be a pretty wide open race at a track that everyone's familiar with. Everyone has plenty of time on. What's the feeling going to Las Vegas as far as trying to go back-to-back on race wins this season?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the way the truck is now, it's super racy. It likes to move around a lot, so it's just keeping that right front on it and staying out of the wrecks, really, because Vegas has historically been pretty rough.
It's got its ups and its downs here, but we get to go through it, and it'll be an elimination race next week. So we're going to see a lot more drama potentially in Vegas, 100 laps next week. So it's going to be an absolutely wild ride. Before we let you go and let you get ready for Las Vegas, and more importantly, get ready for Monday's HTL Cup Series finale at Fontana. If there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. It's been a lot of fun watching you race here. We get a few more races with you before we close out the year here in ABN.
Yeah, you know, I'll shout out Nitro and 213 Simware, W Energy. Shout out all the ARCS guys for putting all the series together that they do. It's always a blast. And you know, I'll shout out for you for doing these broadcasts. It's always fun to have up on the side and have something to listen to, you know, to keep my mind pretty little more centered.
It's a lot of fun watching these series as well. We get to see a little bit more serious on Monday with the HTL Cup Series finale. Always a lot of fun, though, seeing you really trucks around, and hopefully get to see even more of that across the next 2 races as well. Josh, enjoy the race win, and we'll be seeing you again on Monday.
Hopefully.
That was Josh Gaiman, the race winner here tonight. He did a fantastic job leading the most laps at 131. He led over 100 laps tonight, undisputed and untouchable here at here in Rockingham. The full results, we'll go ahead and pull them at the top of your screen here. Josh Gaiman, David Wright, Cody Pennell, your top 3. Matthew Kent in 4th over Kevin Feemster. Dale Markowski, Ryan Pennell rounded out the top 7. Elwes George, Austin Mongold, and Colin McDonough rounded out the top 10. Chris Fleming and Ross Baxter, not the races that they were expecting to have, ending up down in the 11th and 12th spots here tonight. That's going to do it from us here from ABN, here in Rockingham Speedway. It was an absolutely wild ride. We got to invite everyone along for it. We greatly appreciate you being along the ride for us. We'll be live on Twitch tomorrow and Monday. Tomorrow, 7:45, it's the Winstall Cup Series finale from Homestead, Miami. And on Monday, we head to Fontana, California for the HTL Cup Series finale for Season 5. On behalf of everyone here for ABN, for ARCS and the High Octane Series, I'm Carmen Sienna. Thank you all so much for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night at Homestead. So long, everybody.